Back on Gerty mood. Back again, that Friday mood. Well, here we all are. We've made it through to Friday. Give ourselves a clap and a pat on the bleeding back that we've made it. We've survived. I will survive and all that. You know what I mean? Anyway, so what's been happening? Rumours of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are heading in separate directions, Food Tubers. Well, I think we've been here before. I think your old Auntie Gert said that a fair few times before. It's bleeding obvious. It's as obvious as my big fat nose on my big fat face. And I'll tell you another thing while I've got you here. Go over to PAULA M channel. She was interviewing a lady, a Spanish lady. What's her name? Laura Lopez or something. Right? They were talking in Spanish. And they were talking about the Queen of Spain, VTubers. Oh, hold on to your skirts for this one, VTubers. I can't even speak bleeding Spanish. But I know a lot of Spanish words, if you get me. And a lot of Spanish words are based in sort of Latin, somewhere along the line. It's sort of runs through Europe. So French, Italian, British. Yeah, probably some German words as well. I mean, don't quote me on it. So you can kind of tell what they were saying. And as I say, without speaking Spanish, even I could tell Queen Latifah, not Queen Latifah, the hip-hop goddess, not her, Queen Latifah of Spain. Oh, she's probably nymphomaniac, VTubers. Who the fuck did that? Oh, she's got herself around the place, she has. Honest to God. She's got, well, I don't want to say, but her drawers don't have any elastic in them. Let's put it that way, VTubers. So, get over to PAULA. I can't work out to do the subtitles, but if you can get over there and listen to PAULA, it's amazeballs. And of course, the Spanish lady, Laura, VTuber, Laura Lopez, I think her name might be, don't quote me on it, has got a lot to say on the megalite of MARKLETS. Do you get me? And also, another thing I noticed from PAULA M, must have been on another upload, she said that she's in contact with somebody that is in contact with them lot. In other words, a staff member or an ex-staff member or a family of a staff member. And apparently the megalite has all the VTubers up on her television at home. Yes, she does. She does. Obviously not me. Do you know what I mean? She wouldn't put me up there. Because she knows, she puts a picture of me up there, drives Barry wild. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm not British, full-blooded. So obviously he gets, do you know what I mean, even bolder. And but all the other ones are up there. Yeah, you're all up there. You're up there in the echelons now. The Marklet watches you all. So that's something to be proud of, I suppose. Anyway, so should we jump in and see what's going on? What are they doing? What's she done now? For God's sake, give me some bleeding peace. Got my grandson off with yet another bleeding bug. Honest to God, will the world stop having bleeding bugs? I tell you what, all the strain is lowering, one and all, globally, our immune system. And we're all getting bleeding ill. I'm sick to death for being sick to death. Anyway, let's go. Let's jump in. What's happening?
Been copping a lot of backlash.
Who's been copping?
For his statement on the Gaza-Hamas war.
Right. I know that feeling.
The terrible human cost of the conflict that has seen too many.
I know how he feels because even I've. Oh God, I don't know whether I'd even be bothered to say. But I've had so many people jump over. They listen to one thing they don't like. They think it's bleeding Twitter. I mean the twats. Do you get me? Instead of listening to what I'm saying or realising I'm doing a reaction video, and I am in and of myself a parody. I mean, you've only got to look at me to know I'm bleeding, taking the piss, right? Oh dear, they get so hot under the collar. So you agree with people being raped, do you, in Israel? You know, do you know what I mean? So you can imagine, I'm nobody. Can you imagine how much backlash William of Wales has got? Is he Prince William of Wales? Married to Kate, something like that. Anyway, don't quote me on it. So he come out and said that he thinks that the innocent people are dying is a bit too much now. He just said it. And people don't agree that he should be allowed to speak. And of course, obviously, they're inverted bleeding snobs as far as I can see. Because it doesn't matter what your job is. You can clean loose for a living like me and have a right to an opinion. And you can also be, well, the world's biggest bleeding dull-ass grifter, like your William of Wales. I mean, I'm not being rude, but he is, isn't he? Do you get me, capiche? Because of whose spermatozoa and egg he was born of, it gives him a right to do whatever it is William does, yeah? But he's still a human being living on this planet. He's still got a right to an opinion. So, and everybody that jumps on me and gives me their opinions, they've got the right to their opinion as well. I just wish they'd listen to mine before they jump in both legs, because I literally don't care about any of it, but I do care about the children. And I've had people say, well, what about the genocide in Yemen and the Christians being genocided? Do you know what I mean? I've put my heart on the line. Well, I wear it on my sleeve, basically, don't I? When it comes to kids, I literally don't care about adults. I don't care. They've got no excuse. I do not care. I don't want to know what's that sad life that's led them to be arseholes. Yeah. I always stick up for the kids. I don't care what religion their parents are, because none of those kids came into the earth or came into the world like I. Oh, look at me. I've just come out my mum's snatch and guess what? I'm a Catholic. Oh, I love the Pope. None of us do it. We're just innocent children born into this crazy bleeding world that the adults have constructed. And I just stick up or speak up for the children. Because guess what? It's my channel. It's my platform. I'm allowed to say it. I'm not saying anything so bleeding. Well, apparently I am. Yes, it's very controversial. How dare you say you care about the people in Gaza? I care about the Jewish children that were murdered on that 7th of October. It was an absolute shitstorm. I mean, it was just, oh, well, sleepless night sort of material, wasn't it, when you went through all the footage. Anyway, where am I? I'm digesting. Yeah, William. Right, let's go back to William. Where's the market? What's she done?
And he called for the release of the remaining hostages.
But of course,
now,
release the bloody hostages and stop it.
By a senior royal, Emily, but he's had to do some damage control because royal aides have had to clarify that he's not calling for a two-state solution or for a ceasefire.
Yeah, well, that's what you get. This is what all these people get. There's so many people with vested interests. And even at a grassroots level, people have got their own vested interests because it's part of their vibe, innit? It's who they are. You know, they probably don't even know what a woman is. I mean, I've had that myself. People say to me, you're transatlantic or something. I've never flown in my life, do you get me? I don't go up a ladder, I'm scared of heights. And they're like, no, you're definitely trans. Well, prove you're not trans. It's very easy for me to prove I'm not trans. Look at me. Do you get me? I ain't never won sports in my life, not once. So, obviously, I am a woman. But anyway, where are we? We're back on William.
Move.
Well, this is the problem. His statement was quite vague, which left it very much open to interpretation. And Israel, their spokesperson, came back and said, of course we want to stop the fighting like you do, but of course there are conditions to that. I personally think that he perhaps should not have released such a statement.
Well, I personally don't really care what you personally think. Do you get me? You're entitled to your opinion. I'm entitled to mine. And my opinion is... Oh, so what people are saying is, depending on your job, you're allowed an opinion. So if you're like Emily, whatever her name is, Carver, is going out with Patrick Christie on GB News. I don't know what she's on. Oh, is this Sky Australia? Oh, well, I don't know. Move on. So depending on your job and your birthright, you're entitled to an opinion. That's inverted snobbery. That's as bad as people, the elites, saying, well, you little people, you people that are nobodies, you little taxpayers, you no ones, you're not entitled to an opinion. And we'd all scream about that, so we can't have it all ways. And if you're going to come on here and give me rude bleating comments, I just delete them, do you know what I mean? Because I can. And I don't like the vibe it gives to my channel, because I go through all my comments. Part of what I do is to interact with the commentators. Yeah, that's just me. So you can leave something rude. I mean, I've got 3 things here. Some of them are rude but published. Some of them are rude but held in review, so I can hop on over and look on my review channel. And some of them, you get an extra warning. You have to actually click through twice to get them. And I've had comments on my click through twice that have said things like, going back to the new year, Happy New Year, Gerty. All the best to you. And it's been held in mega review under lock and key sort of thing. It's a 2-click solution, apparently, to get through to it. And then I've had really bleeding rude stuff coming up. And I've had, when I was doing, who was I bleeding doing? It was homophobic. Oh, Matty Steeples. Yeah, he used to, yeah, I don't know how the algorithms work. It's really crazy. But anyway, I get rude comments. I just delete them. It's the long and the short of it. So we're back at William, who's entitled to his opinion. He can say what he wants. He can say what he thinks.
It opens him up.
Bloody Harry says what he thinks. No one moans.
Political meddling. It's very important that our future king is not seen to meddle in what is very.
He's not meddling. He's just saying.
For him not to be political. I personally believe.
Hang on. So let's get this right. So let's go back to the 40s over there in the Second World War. Okay, over there in your Germany and your Eastern Europe. Yeah. Everyone knew what was going on. They tried to hide that they knew what was going on, but they knew what was going on. And even people that survived those camps, You know, that annoying little German bleeding wazzock, little psychopath. You know the camps, those camps, yeah? Even the people that survived the camps were begging and used to think, I wish she'd come and bomb the bloody camps because that'll really cripple them. Because obviously the camps were slave camps, some of them were extermination camps, and basically one led to the other. So they had the slave camps where they were working for, well, all sorts of firms that actually are still around nowadays, which I won't mention because it would be very de rigueur. They were slave labour, weren't they? To be fair, they were. And we all knew what was going on, but didn't say anything. You know, that's what I'm saying. So what do? Do you just sit there knowing what's going on? You don't say anything? So history will judge you, saying, well, you didn't say anything. Because Winston Churchill didn't say anything. Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mum, and her husband, George VI, didn't say anything. But they all knew. And nobody said anything. So where are we? Where are we on this? That's all I'm saying. And I'm entitled to my opinion.
Step from our future king. And also, if he comments on this ongoing conflict, which of course is hugely controversial, hugely contentious, opens up huge amounts of emotion from across...
Well, no, because what is being grabbed up is the fashionable activist class has made it a fashionable thing to be activistic about, and has took to the streets in many a city over Europe and America and obviously in Britain. And it's kind of the fashionable thing to be into. But all that hooey and noise detracts from the actuality. If you get online and you see in real time what's going on there, yeah, the rubble, the misery, the crying, the trauma, the actual whatever it is, you know, the kids, everything. I mean, just, I couldn't even believe that I live in a world that sent somebody to the moon, allegedly and apparently. And yet this is going on in Gaza and we're all arguing about it. You know, you go in, you take Hamas, yeah, you get the bleeding hostages back. These people in Hamas, they must be mentally deranged because they are letting their people suffer and sort of going, oh, look at them doing that. Well, you started it, mate. Obviously, I'm not going to get into the politics of it all because at the end of the day, I don't care. I do care about the children and the sheer misery of the children. And the children in Israel I care about. They have to listen to all the bloody bombs going off all the time. Must be traumatising for them too. So, yeah, moving on.
The world, indeed. Does he then comment on every ongoing conflict? I think this puts him in a...
If any of you got a child in your sphere, just before you hit the keyboard and leave me a disgusting, rude comment, yeah? It doesn't matter what your religion is or who you vote for or how much you earn or what you work for or who your parents are, right? If you think of any child you've got in your sphere and then just imagine a bomb going off, just one, or a missile, a sudden explosion somewhere around where you are. Just sit and imagine that for a moment. Because I can do that. I can imagine it. And it breaks my heart. And it doesn't matter why the bomb's going off or where the bomb's going off. It's still traumatising. And we need to speak up about that. All of us. We need to stop bombing where we know children are. Do you get me? And they know that children are there. And I know people are going to say, well, Hamas hides behind the children. Well, yes, maybe. But it doesn't detract from the situation that children are there and they're being traumatised and murdered, wholesale, industrially.
That's a very good point, and I'm sure he meant well
glad he
by
did
it,
say
but
something.
certainly hasn't been well received by no means. Now, the King has revealed he was reduced to tears by the many well wishes and messages of support that he received, of course.
Oh, yeah, so we've gone on that. Right, we don't really care about that. We know about that. Bless him, yes. Where's Meghan? Here we go.
Media, while Harry, as you said, gave that interview to Good Morning America solo. So, how are they divvying up their working lives?
Well, that's what you want to go over to Paula M and find out about, because the cleaner, or whoever it is, ex-staff member that is in contact with Paula, according to Paula, I mean, don't quote me on it, says that they live in separate wings of the house. It's quite a big house, isn't it? So if you divvy up 16 bathrooms, do you get me? They probably get, what, 8 each? So they're all right, you know? And I bet you with all that Ozempic Olympics, the old megalites on, yes, I bet she fills up all bleeding 8 of hers and probably a few of his. So this is something that it doesn't come as a shock. We don't have to sit down and have an inhaler, do we? We know that this is probably a real thing. And Paula's pretty, yeah, she's always on the money, isn't she, Paula? Like the Royal Grift, Meghan's Mole, they're always on the money.
It's very interesting because they controversially updated their website to sussex.com.
Yeah, with her bloody royal
thingy,
thingy, whatever it's called.
A military veteran, a mental health advocate and an environmental campaigner. Now, Meghan calls herself a feminist and champion of human rights and gender equity. So clearly they're attempting to lean into their particular areas of interest. Always modest, always modest.
Yeah.
Particular areas of interest to sort of carve out...
Still trying to make us believe she's 42. Do you get me, capiche? Oh, dear. I had a mother like that. I mean, my mum was like 28 for about 10 years. And then I think she only moved up to like 34 for another 10 years. You get me? That's a narcissist for you. They're crazy. We've all got to just stand there and clap them and believe it. But I'm a bit like the boy in the crowd, you know, with the Emperor's new clothes, when I say, hang about. You're about as 42 as I am, love. And in fact, if you're 42, I'm bloody 42 as well. So, yeah, let's move on from that. Huey, he's living in another area of the house. She's walking around in beige because I saw the Royal Grift get over to the Royal Grift today. She's done a couple of uploads that are really exciting. I don't know what the Megalite was doing. Wandering around in beige and black for some reason. No one knows. Backgrid was there. All the usual bleeding old Huey. And, of course, she's on her own. Somebody else picked up, I think it was on GB News. Oh, no, it was the Royal Roundup on the Daily Mail podcast, which is on YouTube. And they're saying, like, there was snow. Kids like snow. You know, there was toboggans. Kids like toboggans. Then she's going out to restaurants and cafes. Oh, it's a cafe. Was it like a coffee shop? Posh one. Yeah, well, kids like going out there. You know, you never see them with their children, which is very worrying. And I really need Paula M to find out from this little insider that she's got where the kids are. Are they deflated and kept in drawers like I suspect? Or are they real? Are they a real thing? Are they AI robots? Are they the gardener's bleeding grandchildren? Because, you know, these are all valid questions at this point. Because we never see them. And when she talks about them in such a weird, unreal and abstract way that you just know it's bullshit. I couldn't get over it to Germany because I was taking the kids for a milkshake or something when we all got the pictures from Backgrid of her driving in the In-N-Out burger. No kids. And then to marry that up, when she went over to Dusseldorf, she grabbed the microphones. You know what she did? She got him in a headlock. I think she just dived headfirst onto the stage, and she grabbed the bloody microphone and started waffling on. Oh, I'm a mum, and I was putting the kids to bed. I had to take them to the In-N-Out burger and get milkshakes. Like you do a 2 and 4 year old, you junk them up on milkshake, put them to bed, don't you? Oh, yeah, then I got a private jet over here. Anyway, I'm here now. Yes, I've got a presidential suite in the biggest hotel in Dusseldorf. Yes, and I send all the receipts to the Invictus Games, you know. Plus the private jet, obviously, I ain't paying for that. Do you get me, capiche? What do you think I am, bleeding daft? And these wonderful couture clothes as well, you know, Vutu for us. Yes, she sends the receipts to the Invictus because she likes to look her best for them. Which was a bit trying last time, was it, in October? So she just stripped down to her drawers, didn't she, and started marching around for some unknown reason. I mean, I still haven't worked out what that was about. Anyway, and Harry, he's just, get me, it's a wonder they just don't give him a broom and a bucket, really, and be done with it. Anyway, let's go.
Separate identities. Now, we've heard for a while that perhaps...
She's got quite a few identities.
Perhaps there's a little rift in
living in
terms
her
of where
head.
their goals are. But clearly, what they're doing is very much under the banner of their titles, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. That is deeply controversial in this country, whether they should be able to use the royal crest and the royal family.
Well, no, it wasn't. It was Meghan's crest.
Gain,
I mean, do you know what I mean? Fuck him.
So much interest in
don't care about it, Baldy Barry.
Or whether the interest is solely in what they can tell us about the royal family.
Well, I just wonder also if the interest has waned. I mean, now they're having to give...
Do we think that the Emily might be on a bit of the Olympics, darlings? Yes, because she's all of a sudden looking a bit drawn, if you know what I mean. Anyway, don't be a bitch. So there we are. I'll tell you one person that's not on Olympics. Moi. Anyway, with that, wherever you are in the world, have a lovely evening, afternoon, good night. Hopefully, I know I'm supposed to have done that live, review in spare. I might try and do something tomorrow, but it depends on, because I was up all night with my grandson. Well, not all night, because that's exaggerating. But between the hours of like 2 and 5 o'clock is all night, isn't it, really? So by the time you have to get up about 6, I was knackered. And he's still poorly, he's duvet-daying. So depending on his recovery and where he is tomorrow, I might try and get up give us all a laugh over the weekend, because I think we need it. I mean, you've only got to look at me, crack up, won't you? And review Spare, the hair to the spare, or whatever it is. Anyway, bye-bye now.